Athletes Unplugged. I'm QWELL Jackson, and joining me today is my good friend and former teammate, Joe Haden. He's a 12-year NFL veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro, and he just recently retired from the NFL. So, Joe, thank you for doing this, bro. Good to see you.
Man, great to see you too, bro. Can't wait to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got to ask me, bro, because you've been retired, maybe a month or two, maybe? How has retirement been for you so far?
Man, honestly, QWELL, I didn't know how much time we had in the day for real.
Yeah, for real.
You know, just going from a schedule every single day, legitimately making sure you take care of your body. You know what I'm saying? Your family's dependent on basically what your schedule is, what around football, around practice, around games, around traveling, around just basically everything. And then just waking up to not having to do anything that you don't want to do, not having to do nothing at all if you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? And now I got two little kids, kindergarten, one at preschool, and it's like, get to drop them off at school, and me and my lady, you know what I'm saying, she don't have a job, so me and her, we doing brunches, we gonna get
right.
It's crazy. He's got so much time to really like spend with each other, bond, and it's just been really, really cool to just do what I want to do, bro. Like, it sounds crazy, but like they say, you got an off season, but during the off season, you know, we're still locked in. We're trying to train, just stay focused on, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything I do is predicated on being the best football player I could be. You know what I'm saying? So I was just kind of like, dang, it's really a relief. You know, the first week I was watching the games, it kind of was like, you know what I'm saying, you looking at it, you know, I wasn't cheering, I wasn't saying too much. I was just sitting there kind of watching. And then, like, but now I'm sitting there rooting my boys on, like, oh, come on, we gotta have that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, that's big, because I remember the first year when I decided I couldn't play, I wasn't gonna play, I couldn't watch it. Like, the first year I was like, man, I can't watch it. It took me a year to really come back and start watching it. And then when I would watch it, Joe, I didn't want to watch it in front of wifey. I'm like, man, I don't want her to get this. It was weird for me, man. It was weird, because I didn't want to, at the time, how it happened for me was I wanted to still play, but it didn't happen when I wanted to come in. So it didn't happen during that late August situation. And I had to come to grips with, you know what? I didn't want to play for league minimum. If I was going to play anywhere, I was going to decide to go play at a contender. Like, it was a lot of different. And then listen, you know, at that point, I'll be honest, I was checking the bank account. I'm like, listen, for what they're going to pay me and for what tax is going to come out for me to move the family, do all that and this, that, and the other, it just didn't make sense for me. So let me ask you that. When did you know, Joe, did you have a moment? When did you know, you know what, I'm done? Like, I'm gonna do this and commit to it, of being retired?
I say, QWELL, man, you hit it on the head, kind of like a lot of the things you were saying about moving my family. Bank account was straight, you know what I'm saying? I did a solid 12, you know what I'm saying? And I had to the point, like, when I'm not the top corner out there, when I'm not their number one corner, I'm not trying to move to safety. I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said too, they talking about minimum to $2 million after taxes. I'm making $1 million. That's really not moving. That's not changing my lifestyle in any way. Not trying to make money or nothing, but like,
no, we speaking back.
Me right, you know what I'm saying? So it got to, by the time it was like year 8, you know, your body starts acting a little different, feeling a little different. It's harder to wake up, you know what I'm saying? And not in a way like every year there's some new rookies running through the wall for the low. Like, that's the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? And then it got to the point year 9, 10, 11, like, man, I'm balling, I'm doing good. So, you know, over 5-6 million, you know what I'm saying? I might go one more to 2 more years.
Right.
Season, I'm like, all right, no, they're gonna just wait until like somebody get hurt during the training camp before OTAs. Getting into that. Okay, now it's week 1. Let me get close to, like, all right, let me see. But as soon as it started getting really close to the season, I knew, like, nobody gonna jump from $1.5 million to $6 million. So you're like, all right, so do you want to just go to a contender, play for the men, or, like, you know, then it's moving the family. I was really on Buffalo, move the family to Buffalo for 1.5. I'm like this, God, I'm really trying to move Buffalo for 1. You know what I'm saying? We got to that point about kids going to school, moving the fam. Is is it really worth it right now? You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just came to peace with it. Like, man, it's been an amazing career. I don't
You
feel
earned that right. You earned that right to step away because you put in work, Joe. Like I told you this story before. I don't know if you remember, but I remember when I went to Indy, I was telling Vontae, that's my guy. Love Vontae. That's my guy. It's like a little brother to me. And I was like, man, Joe, Joe, that deal, bro. Like Joe, my favorite corner, bro. And he went out and had and backed it up with a season you had in Cleveland. We'll get to that at some point. But I get it, man. People don't understand. People say, oh man, that's a lot of money. I would move, I would do. When you're in the thick of it, people don't understand just how difficult it is to play the game at a high level, how to prepare at a high level, treat your body right, food, prehab, then you have to consider moving your family. Like you got 2 boys, you got a wife, respect to you, bro. And so much so I should have did this at the beginning, but I got a little shot ready. I know it's early in the West Coast, but I'm gonna take a little shot for you. For your time.
I can get one out here, Timmy.
So respect to your career, bro. So let's speaking of family, you come from a big family. You got 5 brothers. Was it Jordan? Jacob, Jonathan. Yeah. So let's speak on that for a little bit. How was it like growing up? And first of all, let me say this. For anyone who doesn't know Joe's family, his mother and father do not look like they have 5 grown-ass kids. Let me tell you that. His father, if me and him were standing next to each other, they would think his father played in the league and not me right now. But what was it like, bro, growing up in the household? You're being the oldest of 5 boys. I know that had to be a lot of craziness going on. So if you could talk on that a little bit.
It was the one thing I love, man. My mom and dad. My dad, like you said, bro, he was a professional bodybuilder and he ran track. My mom was a cheerleader. So we come from athletes. And I started playing football when I was 7 years old. Me and my brother, I'm 33 right now, and my youngest brother is 26. So it's 7 years between all of the boys. So when we were young, I'm telling you, my youngest, my brother right under me, we're the same age for 10 days. We're not even a full year apart. We're Irish twins. Wow. So just us being that close, it was so much competitiveness that we had. Like we're putting football pads on. First day we get pads, me and my little backyard running smack at each other. Right. Like, who's better? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. It was friendly competition. And the thing was crazy, bro. QWELL, ever since we was kids, we were always the best players on the team. So it was the one thing my dad always kept was like, try your best. He didn't ask us for touchdowns, didn't like critique us on none of that stuff. He just always made sure we gave our best effort. You know what I'm saying? So I think growing up, he made it a lot easier on us to play because it was no pressure. You know what I'm saying? It was be a kid, you know what I'm saying? Get good grades. Be a good kid, be respectful, look a man in his eyes, you know what I'm saying? And best. So
is that what I guess that's where that competitive edge came from? Because I remember you were probably one of the, other than Stephon Diggs, you and him are the most competitive dudes I've ever been around. And I'm not talking about just games, like practice. That year you had in Cleveland bro, it was amazing to see the type of things you were doing in practice. No one caught a ball on you in practice. And it just, when it came to the game, it was just, oh, we expected that. Let's just worry about the other side of the field. Let Joe do what he's doing without an offense. A lot of people don't understand that. You were a great corner in this league for 12 years. And the bulk of your years were in Cleveland for 7 years?
7, yeah.
And in those 7 years, man, I can't even remember how many quarterbacks we played with. I can't remember how many defensive coordinators we played with. I can't remember how many offensive coordinators, head coaches. So for the fact that you were able to thrive in that environment, when you're not scoring 20, 30 points a game, when people, and I always say this about defensive players who are great defensive players on bad teams. Listen, you're taking probably double amount of snaps than the other best corner is on the best team. It's just the lay of the land. But so let's So let me remind the folks. Listen, we got Joe Haden, 12-year NFL veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler, All Pro. Just got inducted into the University of I'm sorry, y'all about to say University of Maryland, University of Florida Hall of Fame. So tell me, what was that like, man? You just retired and you get a phone call from the University of Florida. Hey, we want to recognize your accomplishment, your achievements here at the University of Florida.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, this was the craziest part, Quell. They called me during the off season. It was basically during the season, you know what I'm saying, the ceremony and everything. So man, I was over the moon. I'm super excited. You know what I'm saying? All those players I played with, Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Percy Harvin, the Pounce, Spikes. It's just was a great school. I mean, I grew up there basically. They taught me the ropes, you know, going to college and having like a lot of those homeboys where the grind, you don't have no money with them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are all trying to be the best. And I didn't know how good our team really was. You know, you have a bunch of freshmen that can come 5 stars, 4 stars, and be bust. You have a 3-star coming there, and you know what I'm saying, go to the league and crush it. So just on paper, we had a great team, but looking back on it, having like 15, 16 dudes on your team that's going into the league, you basically have the NFL practice, you know what I'm saying, that we didn't even know. So just being able to be in the hall amongst those dudes and being able to get the respect, you know what I'm saying, from your peers, man, that's what I did it for, bro. I did it so so anybody couldn't say that Joe was the reason why we lost. Joe changed us. He wasn't for the team, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to do my best, be the best player I could, and getting that recognition, bro, it feels amazing.
Yeah, how did your son is Jet and Joe?
Yep.
Yeah, what was that like? Were they able to really understand, like, daddy did his thing?
I think my 3-year-old, he don't know what's going on yet. My 6-year-old, man, he did it. We're walking around campus. Everybody keeps trying to take pictures with me. You know what I'm saying? Joe, you the GOAT.
All right, that's cool, man.
Dad, what's the GOAT? Like, oh, man. Tell your dad's great, son.
That's dope, man. That's dope.
Just being able to have him around, man, it was so fun. Him and my brothers and my family, you know what I'm saying? Those are just special, special moments, bro.
Okay, that's love, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I didn't have my son until I was done. So when I was back in Cleveland last year, you know, I was inducted as a Browns legend, and my son, he's almost
that, Brody.
Oh, appreciate it. So he was able to understand. He was like, oh, because I have a bunch of football memorabilia laying around the house, and he'll put on my helmet. He likes to tackle me and all that. But it was good to actually for him to see other people showing me that respect. It was emotional, bro. It was emotional. I'm not gonna lie. It was emotional, but I appreciated that. So let me back up for a minute before I get too far ahead of myself. I got to go back to the high school days of Joe Haden.
Okay.
People got to understand what the hell happened. I just found this out myself, and I thought I knew everything about you. So first of all, let me lay this out, and I hope I get the facts right. So Joe played quarterback in high school, right?
Yeah.
Joe Cool played quarterback in high school. He has over 80 career touchdown passes, over 7,000 passing yards. And I think you rank in the top 5. Is it second all time?
Second all time. Somebody broke my record like 5 years ago.
That's crazy. First of all, that's crazy. So first of all, I knew that. I knew you played, but I didn't know it was at that level. Yes. And weren't you recruited as a quarterback to go to Florida?
I was recruited as a quarterback to go to Florida. I was going to go to Michigan, Ohio State.
Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
My senior year, I threw for 40 touchdowns and ran for 12.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
I thought I was going to be a quarterback. I didn't play corner until I got to Florida. I played safety. I played quarterback and safety. I just played safety because I had good ball skills, but I never played corner a day in my life till I got to Florida.
That's wild. I didn't know that until like 2 days ago, Joe.
Yes,
that's crazy, bro. You kind of kept that on the wraps. You could play, but you didn't really sell it like you should have. I would have been talking hella shit about how good I was a quarterback. As soon as I got to
Florida, I was behind Tebow and Cam, and I knew I was gonna get in. So that's why everybody like, look, Joe, if you want to play, you can start as a true freshman. He said at corner. He said, you don't like it, we'll switch you back to offense.
That's a hell of a move, bro.
Man, I called my dad. My dad was like, son, if you want to make this a profession, there's not too many 5'11" quarterbacks in the NFL. I was like, man, Pops, you ain't lying. So
Right.
went and tried it, man. Freshman All-American, and it was a wrap from there. But
Shout out to Pops for that.
Pops definitely looked out.
So speaking of high school, man, I did some digging, and I didn't realize that you went to Friendly High School here in Maryland area, and obviously you was crazy successful, crazy good at the quarterback position. And for people who don't know the DMV area, it's a lot of guys. First of all, the area, I can't even say is known for basketball. They have a lot of great talent come out of here for basketball, but football is right there. Yes. And if you never spent time in this area, listen, at one point when we were at the Browns, there was probably 6 guys from this area that didn't even, I was the only one that ended up at University of Maryland. Everyone else that went on to do different things, but there's a lot of talent in this area. I say all that to say, so I went back and looked at, some of the people that attended your high school. I just realized Martin Lawrence, the comedian,
yes,
went to Friendly High School. Yes. Did you know that at the time when you were there?
I did. That's one of our. If you talk about Friendly, like Martin Friendly. We see you got a picture of him in the yearbook.
That's dope, man. That's dope. That's dope. So that's dope. So you get to college. You make the transition to cornerback. I mean, you had a hell of Joe. You said earlier you and your brothers always was the best on the team when you played the game. Mm-hmm. And listen, I'm looking at some of the stats, man. What you did your true freshman year. You were the first freshman to start a game at cornerback. Yeah. At that time, a true freshman, like that's unheard of. Because back then, Florida State and Florida, those are the top dogs. I remember coming out of high school. Hell, I was a diehard Florida State fan. They never recruited me. University of Florida did, but for me, it was just like a fifth year high school. Everybody from my high school went to Florida, not for sports, but academically. Okay. But can you talk about what was the biggest jump for you making that transition, and what were the advantages of you playing the offensive position and knowing just how to jump routes and really good ball skills? How did that transition or translate to you playing cornerback?
I think definitely being quarterback, and I had a really good high school quarterback, man. We were throwing the ball, so I knew passing concepts, I knew route concepts, I knew all of that because I really was thinking about being a quarterback. I was really taking the quarterback position seriously. Right. So to Florida and start playing defense. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, it's a whole different ball game when that defensive side of the ball playing corner, trying to cover Percy Harvin. Like, I think that Percy was the one that kind of got me right. Urban always had me. I first switched over to the corner. He would have me just follow Percy all day. Wow. One-on-ones, when we're doing team drills, if Percy lined up.
What? Percy. Percy was that dude, man.
What? Bro, it made it look really bad. Like, real bad. But it was from the point where, like, I just had to start learning the basics. And my coaches, I was really coachable, too. Like, I didn't feel like I knew everything about corner. I knew I was an athlete. I knew I could learn. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the one thing I had to learn first is, Joe, stop looking back. They're not throwing the ball to you.
Yo, I see that.
Going through the receiver's hands, making sure like you looking back at the quarterback, he gonna move on you. So just playing the man and basically making like one-on-ones. What you're not gonna do is catch the ball on me. So I'm gonna think about you. If you throw your hands up, I'm not looking back at the ball. I'm throwing through your hands. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And technically sound as possible at first, and just being a sponge, listening to all of the coaching tips, and then just let my athleticism take over after that.
Yo, that's crazy, yo. So for all those that enjoy this conversation right now, again, we're talking to Joe Haden, 12-year NFL veteran, 3-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, spent time with Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We're talking about his journey in college and all things else. If you like what you hear, please go subscribe. You can catch a full episode on YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes, or go follow us on IG at Athletes Unplugged. So, Joe, you get to college, and now you're matching up with Percy Harvin.
Yes.
Percy Harvin is a beast, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know how that didn't destroy your confidence. Because that you know what I'm saying? Like that dude is a confidence destroyer, bro.
I feel you. That could have messed a lesser mind man up. For sure.
Right. So So you get to college, and it's no secret, y'all had a stacked team. Well, people didn't know at the time, but you talk about that run y'all had with Tim Tebow. You talked about how Cam Newton was there at one point. He left, went on to win a national championship at Auburn. There was the Pouncey brothers. Wait, not both Pouncey brothers were there. Yeah. Can you talk about just that mob of guys that you had, and just did you know at the time y'all was special? Because y'all went on to have careers in the league. This was different. Yeah. I'm surprised that there's not a story about that team and Urban Meyer and everything that happened.
It's a Netflix documentary coming out real soon, QWELL.
Really?
Yeah, it's a Netflix documentary out on that 08 national championship team. It's gonna be nice. They're working. It's been on the works for the last like 2 years.
Oh, that's dope. I can't wait to see that. Yeah. I cannot wait to see that. Everybody will be tuned in for that joint.
Oh, that's so.
Yeah. So you finally, you have a great career in college. Mm-hmm. You leave you're the 7th pick of the draft to the Cleveland Browns. Walk me through that process really quickly before we move on. It's like, did you know you were getting drafted that high, or was there another team that you thought you were going to end up? Because listen, Cleveland is a special place. Once you've been there and spent time there, we could talk all day about, playing in a sports town like Cleveland. But did you have any idea like Cleveland was going to be that team to finally draft you and you can build your career off of?
Going through the draft process, it was. But let's start from the beginning. I went to the league off rip my freshman year. I just working. I knew I wanted to have league intentions. I wanted to go to the league. That was the main goal. But I didn't think of first round draft picks. So after I went freshman All-American, my sophomore year, we won a national championship.
Right.
That summer, they start putting out those mock drafts. They had your boy number 1 corner, number 2 corner. I'm like, in the nation?
Right.
This top 2 quarters gonna go in the first round. So I finally, after the national championship year, we kind of started seeing like, man, like Joe, you could probably read. You the number 1 corner coming out after you like going into your junior season. So long story short, me and Pops had to talk too. This is this before they started changing the contracts. So you get that big rookie,
Right. Oh yeah. Y'all hit the bag. Right. So
we top and we get the bag. Okay, yeah, I think it's time for us to slide.
Right. So hey, you ain't wrong, bro. You are not wrong, bro.
And then it didn't change my grind. I just wanted me to make sure that everything that people thought I was. Right. I just always wanted to prove myself right, and I wanted to prove the people that believed in me right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I just had, I want to prove these dudes wrong. I'm like, the people that believe in me, and I believe in myself, I think I'm the coldest. So I'm going to work hard. I'm going to try to make sure I'm the coldest and just grind this thing out.
And plus, you had younger brothers that were looking up to you as well. So you wanted to show them the road.
Yes.
Show them the blueprint of how to get to where you wanted and how to achieve your goals with hard work and family support.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I tell you too, bro, you don't give it's when I got to Cleveland. I say it was you, Joe T, and Sheldon Brown were the 3 OGs that I could look at and see that y'all were walking around there as grown men. You know what I'm saying? I came in as a 21-year-old kid. I had no kids. I was out there just, you know what I'm saying, free spirited,
living.
But it's different when you walk in there. You got a lot of like grown men that got to take care of families or just, you know what I'm saying, carry themselves a certain way where no coach, not nobody gonna be able to talk to them recklessly. You know what I'm saying? They get respected a certain way, and that's kind of the way when I saw you, Joe T, and Sheldon, I said, I want people to talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? High, and y'all displayed nothing but professionalism. So
appreciate that.
What are you gonna do? So I mean, I just wanted to let you know that it was you, Sheldon, and Joe T. That when I got there, I was looking at these dudes like, man, I want them to talk like the way they talk to QWELL.
Much respect, man. Much respect. I appreciate that. And I came into a similar situation, man, because I was around Willie McGinnis and Andre Davis. I was around older guys, so I had no choice. Yeah. When I remember when your crew came in, I think it was B-Mac was the same year.
Yeah, B-Mac. I came in with TJ too.
TJ. Yeah. Like y'all brought y'all interjected energy in that locker room, bro. And I used to look down the locker room, I'm like, damn, man, them boys having fun, man. But I'm around all these old heads over here. So I had to fall in line. I'm thinking I'm being what a linebacker's supposed to be. And I'm seeing y'all having fun and doing this, doing that. I'm like, damn, I want to do that, man. But Dre and them dudes, they kept me close, bro. They kept me close. But it was time well spent in Cleveland. But when was the moment in Cleveland when you realized, like, first of all, let me say this. For people that don't know Joe and think when you see Joe, Joe walked into the locker room, walked into the league with swag. This man, before social media, before all this hype, before stylists and all this, Joe was doing this shit blindfolded. You hear me? To the point where, I don't know if you remember, Joe, the first time we met, I met you in Gainesville at a club. I don't know if you remember that or not. It was very brief. I was with an agent of mine he wasn't an agent just yet, but he was working for my agency. Okay. And he had graduated from University of Florida. And one weekend, he was like, hey, man, you want to go down to Gainesville? Blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go down there and we get a section at a club. And I look, I'm like, who is this? Who's this dude in the corner over there, man? He fly as hell. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, man, that's Joe Haden. He potentially, first round draft pick, da-da-da-da. He made a quick little intro, and that was it. Like, I didn't know we would end up being here. I didn't know we would end up being teammates because I was fried. I ain't gonna lie. I was fried. So, yeah.
Bro, that's what I remember saying.
Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. But so back to my point I was trying to make before I got sidetracked. When did you know when you made the transition from college to the league? Because I remember you walked in, you had this ugly ass number. Wasn't you number 40?
Man, they had no.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they set me up, Quell. That was terrible.
Yo, I'm like, ain't no way. There's no way. There's no way. You out there making plays, you running around. I'm like, oh my God, it just don't look right. It's not piecing together. When did Joe Haden realize, you know what? I could play in this league? Because again, like I said earlier, you were on a team that played a lot of defensive snaps, bro. I don't know if I don't know if I ever told you, but my agent used to tally up all the defensive snaps and compare it to the rest of the league. Every year, I remember for 5 years, and you were part of these teams, we were top 5 in total plays. You know what I mean? As opposed to, and that was the reason for it, because we didn't have an offense. We didn't have a consistent offense scoring points, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when did you realize, like, yeah, man, I'm pretty good in this league, bro? When was that moment for you?
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you, Quell. When I first got in there, I mean, like rookie mini camp, I was kind of balling, but when the OGs came, I wasn't as comfortable. I mean, I was kind of getting beat a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't in my bag yet. I would say I don't know an exact moment when it happened. I think it might be honestly when I think it might have been when E. Wright got hurt and I started I started going in the games and I was starting. And it wasn't like a downfall. I just kind of felt comfortable. I kind of felt like I started getting my feet a little wet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't feel like I came out shooting out the gates, but by the time after like the fifth game, I was starting, and then my rookie year, I had 6 picks. So after that season, and everybody, I was falling into stuff. Right. Thank you. Thinking, by the time I get out of this thing, I'm gonna have 50 picks by the time.
Right.
But yeah. At my rookie year, when I started starting and shit, I ended up getting 6 picks, bro. I was like, man, this show is going.
Yeah, it's only gonna get better at that point. Yeah, man. So let me ask you this, man. Since I don't know how many coordinators we both played for. Like, I don't even try to keep count. Do you remember? Do you have a favorite coordinator in Cleveland during your time that really thought elevated your game? Because I have an opinion about it. Out of all the coordinators I had and position coaches, there's 2 guys that I would say, you know what, from a football IQ standpoint, from a put me in the best position to succeed standpoint, they were off the charts.
Who is this? Would you say, is this in Cleveland or this in
Cleveland? Just in Cleveland.
Who you got, Quell?
Ray Horton.
Ray Horton. That's okay. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's hard to go through the roller that we had so many, bro. But Ray Horton, to me, from my opinion, he was a smart dude. He was kind of kind of socially awkward, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And he was coming from Pittsburgh, so he had the credibility. And what he did for me, which I'm probably a little biased about, is he allowed us to, you know, if we had a mass check versus empty, let's say, he would allow me if say Ben Roethlisberger, they would always get us in empty sets because they knew we were either playing cover 2 or quarters. So when Ray Horton got there, he was like, okay, if they shift out of it and go back to their original formation, you can go back to the original call. Most coordinators, once you make a check, that's it. We can't get everybody back on the same page. He allowed me to do that and kind of, you know, really show what I can do from a mental standpoint. And he would come to me, he was like, hey, what do you like to run? What do your DBs like to run? I was like, word? You asking me? Yeah. So he gave me confidence that, you know what? I trust that you watching the game, you know the game, you put in the work. I'm gonna give you the keys to it. So that's why I'm a little biased.
But I respect that 1,000% because I think that's the one thing that I learned from Pittsburgh. You know, Coach Tomlin, he would do that with like Ryan Shazier. When I first came there with Shazier, like the same. He knows that we studying tape. We would go to have separate meetings with Coach T during special teams, like 45 minutes, just the corners and the linebacker that's going to be calling the stuff. So you talking about something. If you see this, you can check out of this. You can check into this. If you feel comfortable, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that this is why I would want to call this. This is why we would be doing this. And just having no communication with your middle linebacker, with your guy.
Right.
I trust this dude. He's in the fire, but he's still like relaxed like this. Oh, no, they moving back. Let me get everybody into this. You know what I'm saying? And then we just communicate. So I know exactly what you're talking about with that. I would say my coach though was Aaron Glenn, AG.
Ooh, okay.
Got my hands, just got me with my press game going crazy. So Aaron Glenn, man, I respect
him. Pittsburgh?
Was he in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
No, AG now. I think AG, he's with the Lions. He's coaching the coordinator for the Lions now.
Got it. Yeah, man. It's two. Yeah, Ray Horton and Billy Davis. He was my linebacker coach. This dude, man, we used to just chop it up, man. And yeah, you respect. When I got to Indy, man, it was just like that. We would have on Fridays, I would hold meetings, and then they would let us. Joe, check this out. They would let us during actual position meeting time get with the DBs, get with just players. It would be the signal callers, the DBs, and we would have a little checklist of calls on a Friday. It was like, hey, let's go through some calls. Let's make sure we're on the same page. And they trusted us to do it, bro. So it was. I realized very quickly when you empower your players and trust that they can go out and get on the same page, you get a better outcome, bro. So that's what I, later in my career, I was able to experience. But what was it like for you? And listen, we didn't go through all everything in Cleveland, and we all know we didn't win many games. You were a Pro Bowl player on a bad football team, which is hard to do from a defensive back standpoint. What was the difference like when you walked into the Pittsburgh Steelers organization? And listen, Cleveland was Cleveland. We get that, but I have an opinion about it. When I walked into the Colts facility, I'm curious to know, like, what was it like walking into a Pittsburgh Steelers locker room organization? Because they've had organizational success for many years. They've never had a losing season, hell, in 15 years. This might be the first one. This year, they may have a losing season since Tomlin's been there. What was it like walking into that environment from a player standpoint?
I think they have a lot of players that's been there for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a bunch of vets. You could tell like they were kind of old school, you know what I'm saying? Like the vets kind of ran the locker room. You kind of knew, you know what I'm saying, where they stood, but they had good vets. The Pouncey twins, dudes they're the dudes that are the Pro Bowlers doing their job, handling their business, and they just don't mess around with the bull. And I would say the other thing that's so crazy, consistency. Coach Tomlin has so much confidence and he's comfortable in his own skin. He know he's not going nowhere.
Right.
Keep that relationship. He can talk to you blatantly, blunt, honest. And that's all players want. We want the truth. We want the real. We want to know where we stand. And that was huge. His relationship with the GM, there's no gray.
Right.
Kevin Colbert, they're on the same page. They having together. They're hanging out. They're figuring it out how to put together the roster. And it's just that you got to perform. You know what I'm saying? It's no gray. And it's just the level of consistency of you knowing what your coach wants from you, what the GM wants from you, what the coordinators want from you, and them empowering, like you said too. Like I was running some of the meetings when I first got there. Though, it was Mike Mitchell. It was what's my man, Ducey. Just a couple of the OGs there, and we would run the defensive meetings. You know what I'm saying? And like they knew the vets knew exactly what the coaches want, so they were speaking the same language. But when you're hearing the players and y'all are sitting there and keeping each other accountable, watching practice like this, oh no, you got to be there, and there's something that no, that's me. Like when we did this,
right,
and like just never passing blame. The eye in the sky, and everybody can sit there as a man and be like, take it and get it, because you know what I'm saying. You're not trying to make anybody feel bad. You just want to get done right. That's it.
Yeah. Now you could. I mean, there's a reason why they've been so successful, man. And Tomlin hasn't had a losing season in 16 years. Hopefully that stands. But let me change gears for a second and talk about some of the things that I know you talked about before. But you know, I remember years ago in Cleveland, I was over your crib, the condo, and I knew he's a big sneakerhead. I knew you had sneakers, but I didn't know to this level. Like, bro, you're a savant when it comes to this sneaker game, bro. Like, when did that obsession start? Because you I remember walking in that place. You had a room dedicated
just for shoes.
Just for shoes.
Well, this started for real. I started collecting sneakers when I was in the 7th grade. I had a big passion of the Jordans. And back in Maryland, bro, you know, if you wasn't fly in middle school, if you ain't coming there with the new J's, you was looking crazy. So I was trying to be fly to get some chicks, you know what I'm saying? And I love the J's, I love basketball, hooping them. But it just became something that like just the Maryland way. I don't know, just everybody from the crib loves shoes. And I was just really, really, really passionate about it, really into it. And I would always just, any money I had, I was the dude out in front of Foot Locker, like 5 o'clock in the morning. Me and my boys, parents dropped us off. That's back in the day when you had to go wait in line for them joints. Like,
right.
Loved it.
Yeah,
and
so you got skin in the game. Okay.
The sneaker game has changed big time now, you know what I'm saying? With everybody being a reseller, everybody knowing it used to be for the shoe. You rocking the shoe. Now everybody want to get the shoe to resell the shoe. You know what I mean?
Got it. So do you play in that game a little bit?
I used to store in Cleveland, the Restock that I opened up the store. But then, long story short, blessings, I partnered up earlier on in my career with Dan Gilbert with StockX.
Oh, okay.
Our owner in StockX. So that kind of fighting against myself. Yeah. Dan,
that's brilliant, bro.
And they were like just going to all the games, linking with Dan. His son knew I was in the sneakers big time. So he came to me with the idea of StockX back in like 13.
What?
Yeah, bro. So I
had no idea, bro.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't keep that joint to cut. I wait for it to go public.
Yeah. I just ordered some J's from Go and StockX. That's where I order my kicks from, bro. And I'm not a sneakerhead by any means, but I like to keep it.
No, you stay with the drip on you though, QWELL. You do.
I try, bro. I try, man. I try, but nothing like you though. Nothing like you.
You got the big time gentleman swag, QWELL.
Oh yeah. I try to keep it.
Big gentleman swag.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So okay. Let me ask you, since we're talking about shoes, do you have a pair in your collection that it was hard to find? Do you have a favorite pair of kicks in your collection that, you know what, I wear them, but I really want to collect them more than just wear them?
I probably got 2. I got the Marty McFlys.
Okay.
Yeah, those are. I've only wore those one time too.
Like, wait, are those the tall? Yeah.
Yes, those ones, and then just a recent pair that I got, the Dior ones, the Jordan Dior ones.
Oh yeah. I saw them joints on GOAT recently. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I ain't a sneakerhead. If I buy them joints, I'm reselling them, bro. I'm reselling them joints. Yeah, so Yeah, man, you always been up on fashion, bro. I know that the shoes been a part of your whole swag, and I'm slowly sliding into it, man, on my end. But so let me ask you this, because you stay with the drip on. Do you have a favorite piece of jewelry?
Oh yeah, man.
Like when you put it on, you know it's like, yeah, I'm stunting on them. I'm stunting on them tonight. Ooh wee!
I got me a Richard Millie 1103. My.
That thing stank, man.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna lie. That thing right there, that's that thing right there.
Hey, only you, man. Only you, bro. I love it, bro. I love it. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So let me ask you this about the family. You know, your boys, you know, you got a 6-year-old, you got a 3-year-old. Are they into sports at all? Do you get that vibe?
Man, I get my 6-year-old. I got him. He's big because I just started golfing big time. So I want to get him in it as early as possible because I would have started golfing earlier. You know what I'm saying? It's so many beautiful golf courses, so many different business deals to get done on the golf course. It's a lot of good people that you can meet out there. So I'm getting him that early, and he's really into basketball. He ain't doing football too much. My old is going to be a beast. This dude is football 24. Yeah, and like that's the thing I love about it too. I want to get him the options, every different sport, or you don't got to play sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? Just really just give him options, like, because you can do what you want to do, kids. The world is yours. Just be good kids. Try your hardest. I want to be on what my dad did. I want a kid to be a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you provided that for him through your hard work and you and Sarah's love, man. Let me go down this route for a second. So before I ask that, I just definitely gotta, if you like what you've heard so far, please go subscribe, hit the like button. You can catch a full episode on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and go follow my man Joe at Joe Haden on social media, on Instagram. Now, back to the point I was trying to get to. Now that you have time at the house and we talked about retirement, I don't know if you realize this, but you probably haven't spent more than 6 months at your house where you are right now. Like that's going to be a new normal. You being in the house right now doing football season, you probably don't know what the hell to do half the time.
Well, you're hilarious. Because literally, bro, what you don't understand is now I'm making my house a home. I had 2016 out in LA. So me and my wife, we've been every off season, we get to come out here, then go, you know what I'm saying, come out here. So we never been able to really like put up paintings, put up pictures of us, like family. Because at the same time too, I was renting this joint out 6 months when I was out of town.
Yeah.
I ain't had this fat house sitting out here and not making money. So now, first couple of times we'll be really in this thing for a whole year. So me and Seth, we just literally like deep cleaning, putting our stuff like just organizing our home, bro. Like and it's crazy because
people don't understand that, man. Like you played a long time and you got to move the family back and forth, and you finally get to listen. The money's good, the celebrity is good, all that is great, but you really never feel like you're home. And now you get to feel like you're home. Let me ask you this. Is there anything that you wanted to do that you couldn't do while you were playing? Because I got something that I want to invite you to. Have you thought about it yet, or is it too early?
Only thing I was trying to do really, bro, I had like, I want to go to like Vail and Aspen. I want to try to do some skiing.
Listen, you read my mind, bro. You read my mind. That was the first thing I did when I retired. And Joe, let me be honest with you. I don't know if you want to ski or snowboard.
Which one is easier?
Skiing is easier. Okay. Snowboarding, it take a little bit more time to learn it, but once you get it, you take off. Good. Like I got my board, I got my ski gear, I got everything. Okay. So the first year I tried it, I was with Eric Barton. I don't know if you. Oh yeah. EB. Oh yeah. Okay.
He played with us.
Yeah. Okay. I get it all mixed up sometimes. Yeah. So me and him, we go to Lake Tahoe, and at the time, it's not much snow on the ground. It's like powder. It's artificial snow. So I get a lesson. Joe, we were out there for like a week and a half. Joe, I can only snowboard one day, bro. I bruised my tailbone because I fell so many times. Bro, I spent all this money. I was hot. So as a competitor, I was like, okay, I got to go back. Go back next year, get some lessons. And now, hell, I can do a black diamond, double black diamond. Like it's a lot of, bro, I'm telling you, listen, because you like to dress up, like the opera, the like winter chic. Oh, bro, it's a damn good time. Bro, we gotta connect, bro. Because we've been to Aspen for Christmas and New Year's the last 2 years, and my son started skiing. You can start skiing at 3. You can put him in ski school. It's from 8:30 to 3:30, so you can go do. Yeah,
bro. I went to Vail. I took the family to Vail, and the kid in ski school the whole time, and me and Sarah were just walking around.
right.
I'll pick up the kids, and they had a blast the whole day. I'm like, when I retired, that was on my top of my list. I'm like, because a lot of my friends, everybody going skiing, Vail, and I'm like, man, I'm trying to go.
And the food is good. Have y'all been to Aspen yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of these spots, I've been to these spots without skiing.
I know.
Just going there, eating and shopping.
Bro, you gotta right. It's a whole different vibe when you're on that ski slope, bro. Because I usually go with I'll take the family myself. I go with some friends, and then Vontae. We're actually going in early December, and in Aspen, I believe. And so, you can
hit me up offline about this one, bro. Because
Right. You got time. Exactly, bro. Exactly. It's a whole different vibe, man. I love it, bro. I'm glad that you happy, you feeling good, the family's good, and you're slowly, making your house a home. But let me change gears for a little bit and talk about something a little bit more serious.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this or not, but there's a lot of guys that when they finish, they go through this dark space. They start waking up and thinking about all the things they didn't accomplish from a career standpoint. And that's when things take a turn for the worse. And my kind of, advice to you is at some point, I would get a therapist. I don't know if you talk to one or not, but talking to a therapist, a third party, just to talk about, even if you don't think you need anything, just go talk and just unload some stuff. Because as this started to unfold, after a year goes by, listen, this is what happened to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you. After a year went by, a retirement, I started waking up. I'm like, man, what the hell am I going to do today? Let me do something different. Let me have a sense of purpose. Because we come from an environment where we got instant gratification right then. Yeah, whether we got graded in practice, whether we got graded in games. And when you remove that away from you, it's like, damn, like what's next? So that's my only advice, man. Like if it come to that, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to your network of guys. Cause once you're on the other side, man, it gets real. Some of the strongest people I know have had issues. So I would, just keep in touch with folks as much as you can. You just never know. That's my only advice I got for you, man. But
I appreciate that, bro. Same time, I know I'm gonna have to do some. I'm figuring out I know my next lane. I'm kind of wanting to do some commentating, so I'm kind of trying to dabble it. But like I said, that sense of purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the family, the kids. I'm going to do some golfing or whatever. But like, it's a lot of. It's like having that, knowing what you about to do. That I mean, it's not comforting, but it's been like it's felt safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Safe, you waking up. You got that paycheck coming in from the sport that you love. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really work as much, but you know what I'm saying. Right. You're holding it down for the fam. So. I appreciate that, bro, definitely, because I know for sure, like I feel good. I feel solid. I'm happy, fam, and everything. But like at the same time,
you always been a positive dude, man. Like I've always been a positive dude.
Trying to. I know what I'm gonna be having some. I'm gonna be out there skiing with you. We're gonna have a blast.
Oh, we're gonna have a blast, bro. I'll tell you, I go probably. I try to get at least like 20 days in, bro. Like when we go in December, wifey's gonna come back. And then I'm gonna stay a couple extra days. Like I love to snowboard, bro. Yeah. Love it. It's nothing for me to put on a book bag, be with a crew, find a little tree, set up, bring out a bottle of wine or something, drink, and just take it all in on the slope. You know what I mean? It's cool, man. It's cool. But yeah, man. I listen. I appreciate you spending the time. I know you gotta listen. I know you're trying to still figure it all out. Tell Sarah I said hello, man, and if I make it out to to LA, I'm definitely gonna hit you up, bro, because now you got time. Now you got time.
We got to go get some food. We got to do this wine tasting.
Yeah, hit me up, bro. Hit me up.
Will.
I got wine everywhere. I got some spots for you back here. If you ever come in town, but I got you. I got you, bro. So, Joe, man, I thank you for your time and perspective. Again, if you enjoyed what you heard, go hit the like and subscribe to Athletes Unplugged, where you can catch the full episode on YouTube, Spotify, and iTunes, and go follow us on IG at Athletes Unplugged. And give Joe a shout out. Go follow Joe, as always, at Joe Haden. Again, Joe, I appreciate it, bro. Much love over here.
Thank you, QWELL. Love you, bro.